What's up, family? Welcome back to the Stop Sinking Show, where we go from struggle to flow. This is a loop, a have, see, have loop. And depending on how you are, what you already have inside of you, this can be a positively reinforcing loop that ascends, or a negative loop that descends into the abyss. And when I ponder this, not only does it reveal a lot about why there are vast differences in the experience of life that people have, but it also is the most frightening thing in the world, because I don't see a clear or easy way of breaking the loop. It was Einstein that said, "The most important decision a person can make is whether to believe we live in a safe and friendly world or a hostile one." And the reason why it's a decision is because there is no right answer. Both can be true. Both are true. But what you decide will illuminate the world as such. If you decide it's a hostile universe, you will find ample evidence to support that case. Same as if you decide it's a friendly one. It's not exactly something that materially changes about the world, but how you decide changes what you grow to expect from the world and then what you see. And while I use the word decide casually here, there's nothing casual about the decision, because the decision is almost deterministic in many ways. Your decision will lean towards whether you yourself are friendly or you yourself are hostile. It's like the decision has already been made for you in the way that you show up and in the way that you see the world. But it's also a chicken or the egg loop, a cause and effect loop, because who knows what started first? Whether it was you showing up in the world as hostile that then colored the world hostile, or whether it was the hostility of the world that then became what you adopted as a way of being. What came first? Hard to gather. And so the ability to make a decision about it evades you the longer you reinforce that loop. And again, you would be right either way. But it's very clear which allows you to be a service to the universe and which one is simply a service to you in protection. And while neither one is right in the absolute sense, but one is definitely more likely to make you more porous and open to the world, and the other shielding. I'm not exactly here to propose to you which one you should live your life by. Your experiences have already ingrained into your personality which one you lean towards. But the pernicious part about this is how difficult it is to break out of the hostility. Because the longer you believe you live in a hostile world, the more you approach the world in a hostile manner. And the longer you have believed in the distance from another, the more you are actually practiced in maintaining that distance. And so you will have found more ways to incorporate that belief into every part of your being. And it's no surprise then that you beget more of that experience into your being. You confirm your bias. And again, you would be right. But I wouldn't call that the right track exactly. But it would be hard to convince you otherwise, because the seed of that belief was planted so long ago that it has unseen roots deep into the core of you. What scares me, though, is having to interact with this subset of humanity when I see it in people, because it reveals what they do in the dark, what they actually do, who they actually are, what they would do in protection. And the evidence for that is exemplified in their mentality and how they show up and how they behave and then what they see. If you believe people are evil or are hostile, it also reflects the ample evidence that exists in your own actions of that same type of evil, of that same type of hostility. And because you are your own greatest reference point, you approach the world through the lens of all the ways you know yourself to be. And what's terrifying is the more you see yourself stack evidence by being hostile, being combative, being in opposition, being unfriendly and unkind, the more you see how just for you that you are, how distancing you are in an attempt to protect yourself, the more you will look for that and assume for that in everyone else that you meet. And it will only solidify the distance because you right off the bat think of them to be like you, because that's the reference point you have from your own way of being. And that distance will be felt by those people who will then feel the need to be the same way with you. And you will have actually created the hostile dynamic where there wasn't one, the hostile world that could have showed you otherwise. What you are begets more of what you see. And then what you see is more of what you get. And that should terrify you, because maybe you don't want distance. And I don't think anyone does. We are social beings. We depend on cooperation and mutual respect. We need each other for the most meaningful parts of life, for the engagement in most games that are at play. And I can't help but think about this as a huge impediment to true connection and ultimately to survival. The beautiful thing, though, is the opposite is also true. If you are friendly, you will expect the world to be friendly. And a lot of that will come from or support the ways that you stack evidence in that favor in your own behavior. You will have practiced more acts of kindness, generosity, trust. You will have practiced more closeness. That will be your reference point. And so then the world will meet you there. People will see this in you and will also get to experience and have a reference of how it feels to be like that in the world. And you may be the seed, the catalyst, or simply water and food as nourishment to their perspective of the universe. And so shall you beget. So shall you create and produce more harmony. And so shall you get more of that beauty that you see. And the beauty that you see shall be more of what you get. I love you, family. Stay true always. I see you on the next show.